Hey everybody, it's Ian Schwartz, and today I want to talk with you about loneliness. When I will talk about this, I'll show you my hometown a little bit. It is St. Petersburg. In fact, I really have something to tell because for the last 4 years I have been traveling constantly. So I have accumulated a lot of experience that I would like to share. I don't know if you will like this conversational format, but let's try, who knows. Let's start with the fact that I have friends, and there are actually quite a lot of them. But the problem is that due to the format of my life and constant moving, all my close friends live in different countries. This is wonderful and has its advantages, but because of this, sometimes there are long periods in my life with virtually no live communication. As a child, I was very afraid of loneliness and was constantly looking for opportunities to see my friends. Now I can say that I have made friends with loneliness, and it has become a companion of my life. Sometimes girls appear in my life, but these are just bright flashes in endless darkness. Darkness is not in a bad context, but that's just how it looks. If loneliness is darkness, then our friends, family, and parents brighten it up with their presence. I made friends with darkness. It didn't drive me crazy or make me an introvert. It didn't break me or make me angry at people or life. I just accepted the mechanics of my life. There is a time when there are a lot of people and events around me, and there is a time when this is not the case, and that's okay. It is normal. I like communicating with people, both familiar and unfamiliar, but you should admit that deep conversation with people close to you and 5-minute conversation with the strangers are two different things. This is a quietly different level of communication. But let's turn to the topic of loneliness. The first time I encountered this was when my parents took me to Italy. Then I was 13 years old. I went through this very hard because I had to leave my beloved and familiar city, friends, and society to another country where the city and people are completely foreign to me, and there are no friends or even the desire to find them. All I dreamed of then was returning home. That was the peak of my fear of loneliness. But somehow I found friends there. There were two guys from Ukraine. Their name was Igor and Stas. They had a similar story. Their parents took them with them to Italy without even asking their opinion. A year later, we returned home, and for a whole year I lived like in a fairy tale. But then we went back to Italy again for a year. This was the most frustrating year of my life. When we finally returned, but my friends had already changed a lot, and I couldn't return to my old school, so I had to go to another one, all over again. New classmates, new friends, loss of contact with old ones, or reducing this to a minimum. A year later, I was drafted into the army, and I again moved to a new city with new people. It was very difficult. When I returned, many of those with whom I was friends in the army also left for their cities, and the connection was gradually lost. A few years later, I became interested in yoga and went to India for half a year to study. Then I came back in my hometown for a year, and this continued several more times for half a year or a year. In total, I lived in India for 2 years. Then I went to Sri Lanka and lived there for a total of um, 9 months or even more. So, somewhere in between, I also went to study in the capital for a year. So, each time I started to re-establish connections, make acquaintances, friends, housing, and work. This, of course, was always accompanied by by a long time spent without company and full-fledged communication, and often without at all. So, I have experience of loneliness, and it has been going on throughout of my life since I was 13 years old. At first, it was endless torture for me. A little later, I stopped being afraid of it because I gradually noticed that it didn't kill me and even began to use my free time to research what was really interesting to me. It was music, then yoga, now it is YouTube. I clearly remember the moment when loneliness transformed for me from a problem to a solution. When I was making music and I had problems in my relationship with my girlfriend, I thought it's okay. Even if it doesn't work out, I'll write a song about it when I'll be alone. So, what I was afraid of and avoided now protects me from the fear of failure. After all, I know that if something doesn't work out, I will use it to my advantage in creativity in my free time from communication. In conclusion, I want to say that people need quality communication and don't think that this is bullshit, because at the same time, loneliness also means freedom and even opportunity. It is not as scary as it seems and you can get along with it, but whether it is necessary or not, it's up to you to decide. I didn't have the opportunity to solve this problem radically. I had to live with it, so I adapt. I am neither cold or hot from this. This is just the context of my life, and I know that I will move more than once. I want to visit Europe and America, so maybe you and I will even see each other someday, and you will be my friend from another country, who knows? If you like this video, please like it and maybe some comments. See you in the next video.